Question tags, English grammar lesson for advanced learners. Hello dear English for Africa channel families. Welcome to your channel. This lesson is all about question tags. Question tags are more common in speaking than writing, and we often use question tags when we expect the listener to agree with our statement or to solicit confirmation, and especially when we want to check something is true or for affirmation. This grammatical feature can sometimes provoke problems, especially for learners of English as a foreign language. The question tag always has to be adapted to the previous part of the statement. So tag question can be difficult, and in this lesson you'll learn about what they are and how to use them properly in English language. So before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's start. I hope you are going to enjoy this video. So in this lesson, I'm going to give you the meaning of question tags, the use of question tags, the forms of question tags, and how you can answer question tags. And the two good exercises are provided at the end. So stay tuned at the end of my video. Let's start with how we can define question tags. What is it? So in grammar, a question tag, and sometimes it's referred to as tag question, is a very short clause at the end of a statement which changes the statement into a question. Question tags are formed with auxiliary verb plus pronoun, and they go at the end of the main sentence or statement. Look at the following examples. You speak English, don't you? She's a superb linguist, isn't she? So I put the auxiliary verb in red color and the pronouns are underlined. Try to see. The exam was really easy, wasn't it? You have been to London, have you? You won't forget to write, will you? He didn't forget his appointment, did he? Okay, now let's come to the use. When do we use question tags? It's often a tricky question, but once you have watched this video until the end, you know how you can use them properly. So as I've said, they are very common in English, especially in spoken English. So the uses are mainly in general terms. You often use tag question when you think you know some information but want to make sure or to confirm information you are fairly sure of. Look at the example. You speak English, don't you? With different intonation, the meaning changes. You speak English, don't you? So in English, we can have two ways to use question tags. That is to confirm information or to check information. If you say what's the difference is in meaning, and it's shown in the intonation of the question. This what happened. Firstly, you can use a falling intonation to indicate a confirming question tag. Look how I pronounce the statement. Try to focus on the intonation I'm going to use. You are Jamal's sister, are you? You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? This means I'm almost sure you are Jamal's sister and I expect you to agree with me. So it means like, do you agree? Just kind of confirmation. When you have rising intonation or you use a rising intonation to indicate a checking question tag. You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? This means I'm not sure if you are Jamal's sister and I want you to tell me if I'm correct. Or it means something like, is that right? Or just you need it for affirmation. Let me try to show you again the intonation. In English language, intonation is important to create meaning, so let me compare both sentences with the intonation to make it clear more for you. With falling intonation and then rising intonation. You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? One more time. You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? You are Jamal's sister, aren't you? So with the intonation makes the meaning difference. So make sure you understood that. Now let's come to the form. How do question tags are formed? Well, we do have two forms of question tags, and to make question tags you can firstly give a positive sentence, then add the negative of the auxiliary verb. Look at the examples. You like rock music, don't you? It was a lovely day, wasn't it? You'll be 13 next birthday, won't you? So the rule is you use a negative question tag with a positive sentence, as you can see from the examples. You can also make question tags by giving a negative statement and then adding the positive of the auxiliary verb. For example, you don't live alone, do you? You don't like me, do you? You won't forget to tell her, will you? So the rule again here is use positive question tag with a negative sentence. Let's move on. Now we are going to see the types of question tags, and below are some of the common types of question tags that you can use. Firstly, with the modal verb can or can't. For example, you can't swim, can you? We can also make question tags with auxiliary verb have or haven't. For example, you have been to Italy, haven't you? Third, with auxiliary verb to be. You are not wearing black socks, are you? And other verbs, for example, adding do and don't. For example, you play sport every week, don't you? I'm going to talk about how you can use do's and statements later. Let's move on. Now I'm going to give you some important rules that will save you not to use question tags incorrectly. So notice the following rules in using question tags. Let's see them one by one. I'm going to give you 5 rules of using question tags properly. The question tag always goes after the statement, and you put comma between the statement and the question tag. This is the rule. Let's see some example. The class is at 3, isn't it? So we have the statement, the party is at 3, and the question tag, isn't it? So there is a comma between. We always use contractions for negative question tags. So contractions are mostly used in conversation or spoken English. That's why we use it here in this way. You are going to home, are you? Third, sometimes the statement will not have an auxiliary or modal verb. For this statement we use the auxiliary do to make the question tags. Look the example. You play tennis, don't you? So the statement only has a main verb, play. So to make the question tag, we put the do verb, and so we made a question tag in this way, when only the main verb is given in sentences. The next rule is, many people ask where is the stress in question tags. It's on the verb. As you can see from the example here, you are from Ethiopia, aren't you? So we have falling intonation, which means you are fairly sure of the information. You need it just for confirmation purpose. You are from Ethiopia, aren't you? So we have rising intonation, which means you are not very sure and want the other person to confirm the information. The last rule is the tense in the question tag cannot differ from the tense in the statement. For example, we've got a beautiful garden, haven't we? Here we have used the personal pronoun we in the tag question as well as in the subject, and again we have used the same verb so in the perfect tense that we have used here. So make sure you have grammatical, you have used both of them with grammatical accordance. Now let's come to see common errors that many people do. The following are two common errors when we use inquisition tags in English. These are getting a mismatch between the verb tense in the main part of the sentence and the tag question. And in particular, the overuse of the tag question, isn't it? Let's see the examples. So the basic structure of tag question is with positive statement comes negative tag. He can swim, can't you? Here I've used the same verb, modal verb, that is can, in both the statement as well as the question tag. In the negative statement, we add a positive tag. You can't swim. Can you? So you need grammatical parallelism here. When it comes to overuse of the question tag, isn't it? This is how it happens. It will be difficult, isn't it? This is wrong, so we will use this one. It will be difficult, won't it? If you don't know want is the contracted form of will not. So in conversation we use in this way. And finally, what I want to say is note that the tag repeats the auxiliary verb from the statement and changes it to negative or positive. So you need to consider this important point. The tag repeats the auxiliary verb, not the main verb, except of course for the verb be in present simple and past simple. The next point is, how do we answer a tag question? This is again a challenge for many non-native speakers. This is the rule of thumb. To answer a tag question, decide whether you agree or disagree with the positive statement, or that means answer whether the positive statement, that means which is part of the tag question, is true or not true. When you see the form, when you answer a tag question, we often use yes or no. And if you want to give full answer, you use the same auxiliary or modal verb that was used in the question statement. For example, we are leaving at 3, aren't we? Yes, we are. The statement, the question tag, and the response or the answer all use the same auxiliary verb, and that is are. Look these examples. As I've said earlier, answer a tag question according to the truth of the situation, and that means your answer reflects the real factors, not the question. So this is very much important, not to make a mistake. An example with a positive statement here. It's cold outside, isn't it? If it really is cold outside, that is a fact, then agree with the statement and you can say, yes it is. This is how you can answer. And if it's not cold outside or you disagree, you can say, no, it's not. No, it isn't. No, it isn't, you can say. An example with a negative statement. Let me give you two examples here. Humans can't fly, can they? Here it is true, humans cannot fly, so we say, no they can't. The sun isn't hot, is it? Here it's not true, or we disagree with this statement, so you say, yes it is. I hope you have understood how you can answer question tags. Let's proceed to exercise. So I'm going to give you an exercise that you are going to expect to answer. This is the first exercise. You are going to write question tags for these sentences. What you do is you are going to pause the video and then take minutes to do the questions, and then I'm going to provide the answer so that you can check your answers. So these are the sentences. You haven't got a car. Your brother is a teacher. Your parents don't live in Awasa. Teddy Afro is a great singer. You didn't go to the cinema last week. Your friend lives near the college. Your sister can't cook. English is easier than Amharic. You are studying a lot at the moment. Haile Mariam isn't the Prime Minister of Ethiopia anymore. So these were the answers. Notice the form of the statement as well as the question tag. Look for the grammatical parallelism in the answers, because we need to consider the similarity of the verb tense in both the statement as well as the question tag. You haven't got a car, have you? Your brother is a teacher, isn't he? Your parents don't live in Awasa, do they? Terry Afro is a great singer, isn't he? You didn't go to the cinema last week, did you? Your friend lives near the college, doesn't he? Doesn't she? Your sister can't cook, can she? English is easier than Amharic, isn't it? You are studying a lot at the moment, are you? Hailemariam is not the Prime Minister of Ethiopia anymore, is he? Now let me give you the second exercise. This is going to be a little bit challenging. You are going to do two things. First, you are going to change this question into tag questions, and then you are going to provide short answer for each of them. As I've said, pause the video, attempt the questions, and then check the answers. The first one, can you play a musical instrument? Do you live with your family? Have you heard the new Shakira album? Did you watch the Manchester United game last week? Will you stay in Awasa when you graduate? Take a minute and then come back. Let me give you the answers here. So here you need to consider the grammatical form of the statements, the question tag, and the answer. First, can you play a musical instrument? This is how we can do it. You can play a musical instrument, can't you? The answer is yes, I can. Or if you disagree, you say no, I can't. Second, do you live with your family? Can be changed into question tag in this way. You live with your family, don't you? Yes, I do. Or you can say no, I don't. Third, have you heard the new Shakira album? You have heard the new Shakira album, haven't you? Yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Fourth, did you watch the Manchester United game last week? You watched the Manchester United game last week, didn't you? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Will you stay in Hawassa when you graduate? You will stay in Hawassa when you graduate, won't you? Yes, I will. Or no, I won't. So make sure you have used the same tense and verb forms when you change your sentences into question tag, as well as when you provide the answer. Well, this will take us to the end of our today's video lesson. Thank you very much. And if you do have any questions, you can write it down under my comment on my comment section. Until I see you next Friday. Bye for now.